Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV Midday News live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Fauziya Lukman. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will on Thursday head to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to attend Saudi African Summit, which is scheduled to take place in Riyadh on November 10th and 11th respectively in 2023. This information is contained in one of the official press statements by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngilali. The statement said the summit will provide the opportunity for President Tinubu to deepen the partnership between Nigeria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to attract more foreign direct investment into the country. Furthermore, the Saudi African Summit will provide an avenue for discussion on salient topics bordering around supporting joint action, enhancing political coordination, and addressing regional security threats. Other issues expected to be discussed at the summit include how to facilitate economic transformation through research and the local government of new energy solutions, all of which are targeted at boosting cross-sectorial investment cooperations between both regions. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olukayode Egbetokun, has been asked to probe the incessant and senseless killings and violence intimidation of the people of Kogi East by suspected thugs who have been alleged given cover by security agencies. The call was made by an allied organization of professionals of Ogi State Extraction Club 528 in a press statement signed yesterday in reaction to the killings in Ayingba on Tuesday morning by its president, Samuel Onikwetu. The club said we're worried that despite the deployment of armed troops of the state for Operation Safe Conduct Ayingba, the social and commercial headquarters of Igala Land on Tuesday witnessed another one of violence that led to the killing of 5 policemen. This election is the first to be conducted under the watch of President Bola Tinubu. We want our people to be given the assurance of a security of lives and limbs during the election and at all times so that they can make their contributions to the rapid growth of the national economy, unquote, Onikwetu said. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, yesterday says privatization was not the right way to go for the country. Rather, commercialization would have been better. The minister, who stated this during an interactive session with journalists in Abuja, also says the government has opened investigations into the legality of extension of the license of distribution, stressing that the copy of the license with the Ministry of Power was expected to expire this December. Adelabu disclosed that an increase in electricity tariff is not immediately on the cards as the political situation of the country demands that there must be an improvement in the quality of power supply. He declared that over 90% of the electricity began generating in the country, which has put between 50 to 90 megawatts, comes from diesel and premium motor spirit generators. He said the federal government will prioritize off-grid solutions while trying to resolve the challenges with the transmission of electricity, noting that Zungeru and a number of other hydropower plants will be added to the grid in the coming weeks. Adelabu disclosed that the federal government is looking at prioritizing small hydropower plants that can be easily dispatched without necessarily going out through the grid. The House of Representatives Committee on Health Institutions has reiterated its commitment to reverse brain drain in health workforce in the country, as the Federal Medical Center, FMC Jabi Abuja, disclosed that no fewer than 51 health workers resigned their appointment from the hospital since the beginning of 2023 to seek greener pasture. The chairman of the House Committee on Health Instruction, Amos Gomina Magaji, had an oversight function to assess the level of healthcare delivery at the FMC Jabi facility, pledged that the committee will focus on improving the budgetary allocation for the health sector. Here's the report. The chairman House Committee on Health, Amos Magaji, has disclosed that the committee is working towards ensuring that the hospital gets another land allocation to expand its health services.
Challenges from the hospital, as we have noted here. Number one, we have the issue of power. For some hospitals have devised different means of, sometimes it pays more to even have an arrangement with the power sector, like NEPA, so that you reduce your power. Maybe you have to engage with them more to see how the power generation in this, or the power supply in this area is improved. The issue of space, we need to also, as I said earlier on, we want to have all the correspondence with relevant agencies. We're going to pick it to the floor of the House and make sure that this issue is really looked into. The issue of the emergency, maybe with the expansion, the emergency might not even be in this place that...
He also pledged that there would be an intervention in the health sector to ensure affordable, accessible and quality health care in the country. Earlier, the Chief Medical Director of FMC JB, Professor Saad Ahmad, who disclosed that about 51 health workers have left the hospital since the beginning of 2023, decried the speed at which every department in the hospital has been affected by brain drain.
To receive this honorable committee in this facility today. And I must thank the chairman and members of the committee for all the words of commendations, and we have also noted most of the other queries and contributions that have been made. For us here, we continue to take feedback to see how we can continue to improve on our services. The Japa syndrome is something that has befallen this country, but I'm happy to say a lot is being done to see how it can be reversed.
The House of Representatives Committee on Health Institutions continues to advocate for improved healthcare services and access for all Nigerians. As a visit to FMC, Abuja underscores their commitment to achieving this goal. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News. Meanwhile, ahead of the November 11 governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi State, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has declared that the police will remain neutral and ensure safety of lives and property during the Saturday's off-cycle election. Speaking through the Force Public Relations Officer, Olamuyiwa Adejobi in Abuja, Egbetokun says their objective is to create an environment where all citizens can exercise their right to vote without fear or intimidation. Kikelomo Okiri has details.
Inspector General of Police Stanley warns all security aides and escorts to desist from accompanying their principals and politicians to polling booths and collation center during the election, as anyone found floating this directive will be severely sanctioned, while emphasizing that only security personnel specifically assigned to election duties are to be seen within and around the area.
The IGP urges all active electors to be law-abiding and turn out en masse to exercise their franchise. He, however, warns that the force will deal decisively with any individuals or groups that might want to test our common resolve and might to ensure a peaceful election.
He also enjoined all electorates and party supporters and leaders to shun vote buying, vote selling, hate speech, misinformation and snatching of ballot boxes and other criminal acts, as the force headquarters and other security agencies will leave no stone unturned in ensuring that all violators of extant law will face the wrath of the law.
It remains a strict zero tolerance policy towards any actions that could tarnish our reputation or compromise the administration of justice.
He, however, reaffirmed the Nigerian Police Force commitment to upholding the highest standard of integrity, professionalism within the Nigerian Police Force, urging all Nigerians to have faith in the justice system and to report any suspicious activities to the appropriate authority, most especially using the already published contacts. Kikelomo Okiri, Global Television News.
The Civil Society Organization has been urged to engage the new administration, especially lawmakers, to help address legal and regulatory barriers that impede their effectiveness. They were advised by stakeholders at the Second National Conference on Civil Society Operational Environment with the theme Sustaining Public Benefit for CSO through Collaborating and Enabling Regulations in Abuja on Wednesday. Speaking at the event, The head of the EU delegation to Nigeria, Ambassador Samuel Isubi, stated that the CSO must set an agenda for lawmakers on enabling an environment for the civil space. Also, the two-day program is organized by the CSO Accountability and Transparency Initiative and funded by the European Union, British Council, and other 4 international organizations. You're watching Global TV Midday News, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We are on Saturn channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTV_NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the Midday News returns, Central Bank of Nigeria says old banknotes remains legal tender. The news continues shortly with details of this and other stories right after this short break. Please don't go away. Welcome back to Global Television, bringing you live broadcasts of the midday news from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. On the foreign scene, the military-installed president of Myanmar has warned that the country is in danger of breaking apart if government cannot control fighting, which has broke out in the Shan state. Former General Min Suen, who was appointed after a coup in 2021, was speaking at an emergency meeting held by the ruling military council to address a series of coordinated attacks by the anti-military insurgents, which have inflicted serious losses on the armed forces. 3 ethnic insurgent army in the Shan state, supported by other armed groups opposing the government, has overrun dozens of military posts and captured border crossing and roads carrying most of the overall trade with China. It is the most serious setback suffered by the junta since it seized power in February 2021. After 2.5 years of battling the armed uprising it provoked with a disastrous coup, the military is looking weak and possibly beatable. The government has responded with airstrikes and artillery bombardment, forcing thousands of people to leave their homes, but it has been unable to bring the reinforcement or recover the ground it has lost. Among hundreds of troops killed is believed to be the commander of government force in the northern Shan state, Brigadier General Onkia Lungwin, the most senior officer killed in combat since the coup. The insurgent says one of their aims is to close them down. The United Nations Human Rights Commissioner has accused both Israel and Hamas of war crimes. Volker Turk cited the continued holdings of hostages by Hamas and what he called Israel's collective punishment of Palestinian civilians and its unlawful forcible evacuations in part of Gaza. Meanwhile, UN Chief Antonio Guterres says the number of civilians killed in Gaza shows something is clearly wrong with Israel's military operations. Israel says 50,000 Palestinians left the Gaza City area on Wednesday after its military opened up the main road to southern Gaza for weeks. Israel has told people in the north of Gaza to head south, saying it is safer. The Hamas-run authorities reported airstrikes on Wednesday in both north and south, also on Wednesday. The Israeli Prime Minister dismissed false rumor after reports that a proposal to release 12 hostages in exchange for a 3-day humanitarian pause is under discussion. Time to talk about some business now. Every banknote remains legal tender and should not be rejected by anyone, the Central Bank of Nigeria has disclosed. This is as the Apex Bank directed all its branches across the country to continue to issue different denominations of the old and redesigned banknotes in adequate quantities to deposit money banks. The Apex Bank stressed that every banknote it has issued remains legal tender and should not be rejected by anyone. This disclosure was contained in a public statement issued by the Director of Corporate Communications of the CBN, Isa Abdul-Mumin, on Wednesday in Abuja. Isa said the directive follows reports of scarcity of cash across some major cities in the country, despite the initial assurance by the CBN of sufficient cash stock in all locations across the country. Isa further advised members of the public to reduce the pressure on the use of physical cash and embrace alternative modes of payments. petroleum tanker drivers have called on their members to be calm and go about their lawful duties pending the outcome of a case between the drivers and the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG. Global TV correspondent Subarat Usman tells us more.
Kiyose Swa and Danyabu Yusuf Ganga, who spoke with their colleagues in Abuja, advised them to be law-abiding and not take matters into their hands.
Go about their normal duties. Whoever molests them, they should please hold peace. They should please hold peace. Nobody should quarrel or fight anybody outside there. We are for peace, we are not for destruction. Because whatever happens in the wrong way, we don't know how it will end in the other way. But for that reason, we are now advising or appealing to all our members not to make any trouble outside there. But they should go and do their normal duties. Any molestation, they know who and who to call.
Everything is under control. And since everything is under control, the struggle have now shifted to court. There is no need coming to talk to people here on the press. I was now calling our members to go back to their normal duties. But the struggle to liberate PTD has just begun. So whether with press conference or no press conference, the struggle continues. Therefore, we must be peaceful in our conduct. But if we are challenged, we know where to go to protect ourselves.
The petroleum tanker driver is an arm of the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG. Recall that the drivers accused NUPENG of trying to impose leadership candidates on them in their recent election. According to Danyabu Yusuf Ganga, a press statement is already prepared, but because the matter is presently in court, the issue cannot be mentioned or discussed outside the court. Swabra Usman, Global Television News, Abuja.
We sincerely apologize for the break in transmission. The Nigerian National Petroleum Limited (NNPCL) has provided insight into how lingering conflict between Russia and Ukraine has impacted Nigerian crude oil inflow in the international oil market, leading to a dip in demand from the once dependable Asian market on the onset of hostilities in the Eastern Bloc. Mariam Idris, Executive Director, Crude Oil and Condensate, NNPC Trading Limited, says in a panel presentation at the August European Crude Conference in London that in addition to the substantial price shocks impacting commodity and energy prices globally, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has triggered a situation where India, a primary destination for Nigerian grades, increased its appetite for discounted Russian barrels to the detriment of some Nigerian volumes. On the other hand, she noted that the Nigerian crude flow in Europe has increased in a bid to fill supply gaps left by the ban on Russia crude, pointing out that 6 months before the war, 678,000 BPD of the Nigerian crude grades went to Europe, compared to the 710,000 BPD 6 months later and a 730,000 BPD so far this year. In an endeavor to expedite the decongestion of the overcrowded ports burdened with an excess of overtime cargo, the Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, officially launched a committee on disposal of overtime cargo on Wednesday at the Nigerian Customs Service headquarters in Abuja. This development arises in response to the new Custom Act's provision, which empowered the NCS to dispose of containers that have exceeded their allotted time within the port. CGC Adeniyi emphasized that the alleviation port congestion stands as a paramount objective for the Nigerian Customs Service, as well as President Ahmed Bola Tinubu offering the promise of heightened efficiency and enhanced trade facilitation. In acknowledging the initiative, the General Manager of MD's Office, Nigerian Port Authority, Durowe Adeodele, expressed his relief, highlighting the issue of 7,000 overtime containers that have remained for years across the ports. The Nigerian Customs Service Federal Operation Unit Zone A interceded 13 trailers load of foreign parboiled rice, 17 vehicles and other items worth 1,241,777,700 naira in October. This was disclosed in a statement posted on the official X handle of the Nigerian Customs Service on Wednesday. According to the statement, the acting controller of the unit, Hussaini Ejibunu, made this known in a press briefing on Tuesday at the unit headquarters in Lagos. The statement partly read, quote, while showcasing the seizure, Ejibunu explained that 17 vehicles were seized from smugglers who wanted to circumvent the law, stressing that the Federal Operation Unit Zone A under his watch will make the remaining part of the year more challenging for smugglers in the interest of the country. The acting controller also disclosed that 9 suspects were arrested during the anti-smuggling operations, as some of them were currently under prosecution in different states of the zones. Ejibunu appealed to well-meaning Nigerians and patriotic Nigerians to continue to support the unit with credible information that will bring assistance in battling economic sabotage. A quick look at sport. Real Madrid coach Santiago Ancelotti says Jude Bellingham was doubtful for his team's clash with Braga in the Champions League on Wednesday after the midfielder hurt his shoulders at the weekend. Madrid can reach a knockout stages with another victory at the Santiago Bernabeu after 3 straight wins, but maybe without their top goal scorer, although he did complete part of his team's training session on Tuesday. England's international Bellingham, who has scored 13 goals in 14 matches across all competitions, suffered a shoulder problem in the 0-0 La Liga draw with Rayo Vallecano on Sunday, although he played the whole match. Super Eagles head coach Jose Peseiro has thrown his weight behind striker Victor Osimhen to continue his impressive form of return from the sidelines of the Napoli man-cupped injury while on international duty for Nigeria. The Napoli striker picked up a hamstring injury during Nigeria's 2-2 draw against Saudi Arabia in October and has not played for Napoli since soaring against Fiorentina on Wednesday. He was in Nigeria for about a week as he returns to the Italian champions today, but he won't be featured in their UEFA Champions League against Union Berlin. This is coming on the heels of a successful season with Napoli last season, and the Super Eagles coach believes he has the quality to keep his momentum despite the season, the issues that have surrounded him at the club recently. That's it on Global TV Midday News. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Fauziya Lukman, thanking you so very much for watching.